St. Albertans, I hope you had a wonderful week. It's Friday, November 8th. I'm Paul Hukalak. Welcome to TV7.ca News. And we need to thank Gwen down at Coral Collective for making our backdrop for us. Thank you very much, Gwen. Today we talk about how you can pay for your parking ticket with toys. The St. Albert Children's Theatre gets ready for their production of Disney's The Little Mermaid. And the RCMP catch the Catalytic Converters thieves. But first, as we've talked about before on TV7.ca, the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation's Country Cabaret fundraiser, featuring CCMA award-winning artist Jason Benoit. Now, this unforgettable evening is coming up very quickly on November 16th. Now, because of circumstances outside of their control, the venue has changed and will now be held at the CFB Edmonton Junior Ranks Mess, which personally I think it will be easier for all of us to get to. Now, to remind you, the Jesse's House is an over 9,000 square foot home being built to service individuals and families fleeing domestic violence in our community. Unique in its design, this shelter's 3 family suites and self-contained suite will provide refuge for large or intergenerational families. The Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation is a great organization that could use your support. Tickets are still available and can be purchased at the St. Albert Canadian Tire or online at www.jmmf.ca/cabaret. The St. Albert Children's Theatre will be presenting their version of the Disney classic The Little Mermaid. Based on one of Hans Christian Andersen's most beloved stories, and also, of course, the classic animated film, Disney's The Little Mermaid is the story of Ariel, King Titan's youngest daughter, who longs to live in the world above. Now, when the evil sea witch Ursula grants her the opportunity to sprout legs and go after the heart of Prince Eric, she jumps at the opportunity. And with forces working against her, Ariel will need help from her friends and family if she is ever to see her dreams come true. Now, we had talked to 2 of the young performers at their most recent rehearsal.
Well, just like the original story, I think it was 1980 something. I can't remember the exact date, but it's a lot like just the classic one that you loved when you were a child, or that your kids saw, or anything like that. It's a lot of fun, and it carries a lot of the same thematic elements as the original movie. And on top of that, you get to see it on stage with a few more songs.
I watch this a lot. It's just so It's so comforting. Sorry, it's so comforting to me, and just the fact that we're doing this, it's very special to me, because this story about Ariel and under the sea and all that stuff, it's been in my memory for a long time, and I'm glad that we're doing it again.
I think the oldest person in this show is 21, I believe, and I think the youngest is 8 or 9, so it's a pretty diverse range.
Yeah, it can be a lot when you're definitely starting out as a younger person, but as soon as you get older, the people they want to fit in with you. They're so accepting, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah, all the older kids do a really great job welcoming the younger ones. It's a really positive environment, which is really nice too. It's one of the best parts of St. Albert Children's Theatre.
Now, this fantastic show runs from November 21st to December 1st at the Arden Theatre and is sure to be a big hit and a sellout. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster or the Arden Theatre box office. And TV7.ca has a pair of tickets to give away. All you have to do to enter, just drop us an email or a Facebook message. Now, this Monday, of course, is Remembrance Day. Help honor the brave men and women who serve our country at our city's Remembrance Day ceremony and parade. This year represented the 75th anniversary of the day thousands of Canadian and Allied troops storm the beaches of Normandy. The parade will start at 10:30 from the Legion and wind its way to the Cenotaph on St. Anne Street, where at 11 in the morning, the formal Remembrance Day celebration will begin. And afterward, the Legion will be having an open house. Now, if you plan to head down to pay your respects, the forecast is calling for highs of -8 degrees, so bundle up. So we told you a few weeks ago about a string of car part thefts happening in our city. Now, the RCMP announced this week the arrests of 3 individuals in connection to the stolen catalytic converters. Now, that's right, on Sunday, October 27th, at approximately 2:45 in the morning, St. Albert RCMP attended the Riel Industrial Park to check on a suspicious person. During the investigation on Rayborn Crescent, the officers located 2 females and 1 male who were in possession of various tools commonly used in catalytic converter thefts. They were also caught with some stolen catalytic converters themselves and a small quantity of drugs. All 3 suspects were arrested. Michael Roloff, age 29, and Tanya Runzer, age 31, both residents of St. Albert, along with Rochelle Wingrove, age 35, from Edmonton, appeared in St. Albert Court on Monday, October 28th, where the charges were set over for November court dates. They are facing charges including break and enter and possession of stolen property, and one person also faces a drug charge. Now, if you have any information about this crime or any other crime, call St. Albert RCMP at 780-458-7700. Well, each week, local artist Memory Roth brings you art in the city. This week, she talked to Bernie Boise, president of the St. Albert Painters Guild.
Hi, I'm Memory Roth, and I'm here with Bernie Boise of the St. Albert Painters Guild.
It's a
Hi,
pleasure
Bernie.
to be here.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So, Bernie, you're the president of the St. Albert Painters Guild. Can you tell me a little bit about the guild and maybe the history of it?
Certainly, it originally started as the St. Albert Arts and Crafts Society, and then it became the St. Albert Painters Guild when St. Albert Place was built. And they did fundraising and became part of St. Albert Place.
Right, right.
So now they have shows there, and
So when was the guild first established?
it was established in 1987. We still have one of the founding members, Peg McPherson, as a member of our guild.
That's right. Yeah, she's great. She's done contributed a lot for St. Albert.
Yes, she has.
So the St. Albert Painters Guild first started off as a St. Albert Arts and Craft type of group, and then became the St. Albert Painters Guild. So when it first started, it was obviously something totally different than it is now. So how has it evolved over time?
I'm not sure that I would say it's different. It still has the same goals. We're there for the community to incorporate arts into the community. Then it's also for the artists so that they can better themselves. And thirdly, it's for artists to help other artists.
Right.
And that hasn't changed since 1987.
Okay. So if I wanted to become a member of the guild, how would I do that?
Number one, you'd have to be 18 years old. After that, you could become a member anytime.
Do you have to be an artist?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
You can write your name, you can be an artist.
Okay.
People start off as beginners and end up as fabulous artists.
So so some of the artists that are involved, are they hobbyists, established, professional, or do you have the whole gamut?
Any of the above.
Okay, that's great. Now, St. Albert Painters Guild is also quite well known in St. Albert for its shows. Can you tell me a little bit about the shows?
Yes, the last weekend of April and the last weekend of October is always shows, and we have people who wait for them to happen.
Right.
We have repeat customers, and it's just an amazing event to be part of.
You get a lot of people through the weekends of the
do.
shows.
Hundreds.
And where is it located?
It's located still in St. Albert Place. It's in the mezzanine and has been there since the beginning.
Oh, okay. And you yourself, you are an artist, is that right?
I am.
And what is your connection to St. Albert?
Well, When we first moved back to Alberta from the Okanagan, I just started to paint and wanted to find somewhere that would help me become a better artist.
Okay.
So we moved to a community close by, but their art group just wasn't what I was looking for. So I went to a show at St. Albert Place and I was hooked. I'm still hooked.
That's great. Well, thank you very much. This is Memory Roth for TV7.ca, and this has been Art in the City.
Our amazing city will be unwrapping its annual Toys for Tickets campaign again this year to support less fortunate families across St. Albert. Municipal Enforcement Services began this successful campaign in 2009, which provides an opportunity for individuals to give new toys as payment for their parking tickets. Now, tickets issued between November 15th and November 29th, the city will accept new unwrapped toys as an alternative form of payment for parking violations. Toys received will be donated to the Fill a Bus campaign, led by St. Albert Transit and Diversified Transportation, as part of the St. Albert Connects Christmas Hamper campaign. Last year, staff accepted 175 toys, valued at over $4,300. The city also received toy donations from residents who did not receive a parking ticket but wanted to take part in the program anyway. Now, some conditions do apply, and donations in lieu of payments can be made at the RCMP detachment from November 15th to December 6th. And welcome Crystal Lucier with her weekly financial focus.
I want money.
At some point or another, every Canadian runs into one or two tax issues. It's important to find the best way to resolve your tax issues. Sometimes you might disagree with your tax assessment from Canada Revenue Agency. It may be because you think that it's wrong, you noticed information is missing, or you were assessed by the CRA because you didn't respond to a notice to comply and do your tax return. Often, the easiest way to resolve an issue is to request a change to your tax return. If you didn't file a tax return and you were assessed by the CRA, the easiest way to resolve your issue is to file your return. Filing your return or requesting a change to the return that you've already filed is really quick and easy. It's an easy way to fix a mistake, include new information to CRA, or ensures that you don't miss out on any credits or benefits that you might have been eligible for. If you've tried to resolve your issue and still aren't satisfied with the outcome, you might need to formally object to your assessment. Choosing the right course of action helps you ensure that your issue gets resolved quick and easy, perhaps saving you time and money. Are you not sure where to start? To request a change or adjustment to your return, you must have filed a tax return and received your assessment from CRA. If you think that the CRA has misinterpreted the facts or applied the law incorrectly, even after working with them to provide all of the relevant information, you can file what we call a notice of objection. The deadline to file an objection to your income tax assessment is whichever of the following two dates is later: 1 year after the tax filing deadline or 90 days from the date of your notice of assessment. The deadline to file an objection on a T2, which is a corporate return, or GST is always 90 days after your notice was sent. It's important when these notices come in to take a look at them and see if they're correct in case you do need to make an objection or a change. Always send your notice of assessment to your professional tax preparer so that they can take a look for you and make sure that nothing was missed. This is Crystal Lucier with Preferred Tax Solutions, and this is TV7.ca.
I want money.
And another of our amazing correspondents, Michelle Parker's here with Let's Get Fit.
All right, today's focus, hang tight. So I recently began introducing chin-ups and pull-ups into our circuit classes, which led to a multiple of groans from the class. But everyone stepped it up and gave it a go. What's awesome to see is each week they seem to be trying a little bit more. For some, that's about trying to get an extra rep. For most though, it was about hanging on as long as they can. That's right. If you aren't able to pull yourself up yet, that's okay. Hang on, contract your muscles, and pull for as long as you can, then release and repeat. Did you know that this move not only works the upper body, but also engages that core? Yep, that's right. A pull-up or a chin-up is also about engaging and using your core. So grab yourself a chin-up bar off of Kijiji, Winners, or your local sporting goods store, and make hanging out a part of your fitness journey. Want an added challenge? Complete controlled lower body movements by engaging your transverse abdominals with things like leg lifts or slow and controlled circles. So if you haven't guessed it yet, we're gonna be heading over to my chin-up bar for our move of the week. So welcome to our chin-up, everyone. Now you can see the apparatus I have. At home, you might just have one that cinches on to your overhead doorways. Lots of different varieties. So we're gonna focus in on the chin-up today. So our palms are gonna be facing forward, and then we're gonna slowly pull ourselves up so their chin is coming up above our bar. Now once you're here, you can decide to hang out as long as you want, but I also encourage, especially if you're only working on 1 or 2 reps so far and you're building that up, is when you lower it down, let's take it nice and slow. You might even find a spot in the middle where you're gonna hang out here for just a little bit before you continue to lower yourself down. Now, if that's not where you are yet, that's quite all right. What I want you to think about is maybe having your feet still on the ground or having a bench below your feet. And I want you to put your hands here and then pull up. Your feet may not even come off the ground. Maybe you're on your tippy toes, but you're still engaging your shoulders. You're still engaging your core. And as I mentioned earlier, we can add in some abdominal work with lowering and raising those legs, or perhaps doing some nice little circles. Keep it controlled, and that is our move of the week. Everyone from tv7.ca, my name is Michelle. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Well, the Musée Héritage Museum will be featuring the exhibition Enemy Aliens, internment in Canada from 1914 to 1920. This goes all the way from November 26th to January 19th. Enemy aliens was a term used to describe citizens of states legally at war with the British Empire, who resided in Canada during the war. Between 1914 and 1920, the federal government interned over 8,500 people, identified as enemy aliens in a network of 24 camps across Canada. 100 years later, using photographs drawn from Canadian archival collections, they reflect on the country's first national internment operations and the experiences of the internees, who they were, the conditions they endured, and the legacy they left. This exhibition has been developed by the Canadian War Museum in partnership with the Ukrainian Canadian Civil Liberties Foundation, and once again can be viewed at our museum located in St. Albert Place from November 26th to January 19th. Following a lengthy investigation by St. Albert RCMP, the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children, and Alert's Internet Child Exploitation Unit, a St. Albert man was arrested for child pornography offenses. On Wednesday, October 23rd, the suspect was arrested and a search warrant was conducted at a residence in the Braeside neighborhood. The St. Albert RCMP General Duty Unit and the St. Albert General Investigation Section assisted with the search warrant. Now, investigators do not believe that any children or youth of St. Albert were victimized in this investigation. However, anyone with information about this investigation or any child exploitation offense at all is encouraged to contact local police or cybertip.ca. Graham McEachern, age 26 of St. Albert, has been charged with possession of child pornography and distribution of child pornography. He was released by a Justice of the Peace for a November 18th court date and has several release conditions, including not to be in contact with anyone under the age of 16. And if you have any information about this crime, or once again any crime involving children, please call St. Albert RCMP at 780-458-7700. Or if you would like to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers by phone or online using the P3 Tips app. Our own St. Albert Canettes would like you to please consider adopting a family this Christmas season. And with a donation of $200, you'll be supporting a local family of 4. The Canettes will be hosting a Christmas hamper kickoff and silent auction as well on Saturday, November 16th at LB's Pub. To help out this organization and our local community, go to www.stalbertkin.ca. And that is it this week. However, don't forget, this is your last chance to get your tickets to the Melisizwe Brothers concert, Remembering, at the Jubilee Auditorium in support of military families. This event takes place on Monday, Remembrance Day, and tickets are available at the Jube box office or ticketmaster.ca. If you have any information, community events, or news you'd like to share with our viewers, please send us an email at news@tv7.ca. And from us here at tv7.ca, I'm Paul Huckalak. Have an amazing week and happy Remembrance Day.